Hello students, after discussing about the principles of Henry Fayol and F.W. Taylor, now we are moving towards our last but not the least, a very important topic, that is scientific techniques, which has been given by F.W. Taylor to make the principles given by him more effective for the betterment of organization. First technique is functional formation. According to this technique, in an organization, the whole organization should be divided into two departments, as it is not possible for an organization to perform all the activities with the help of one department. It will create confusion and conflicts within the departments. So what are these two departments? Planning department and production department. Okay, because if the person of planning department or a planning manager has the burden of producing the units also, so he will not be able to plan, he will not be able to focus on planning because he has a burden of other work also. And if the production manager has a burden of planning also, then he will not be able to focus more on production because he will have the burden or tension of planning also. So there should be a separate department for planning as well as for production, so that everyone can perform their tasks efficiently and effectively. Along with that, Taylor also suggests that in an organization there should be 8 experts who are specialized in their fields and who are responsible to perform their respective tasks. 4 in planning department and 4 in production department. First expert is root clerk. This person is responsible to fix up the sequence of the different activities which is required to perform by the workers or the employees of an organization who are performing a task. Okay. For example, a person is manufacturing, some workers are manufacturing a product, let's say a cloth item. Okay, a cloth item they are producing. So there should be a sequence. What is to be done on the first step, then what is the second step, third step, last step, what is the sequence, and this sequence has been set up by the root clerk. The name itself suggests root. It means what is the sequence we have to follow to perform a particular task, so that everything should be done in uniformity and in sequence only. There should not be any duplication and any activity should not be get left by the workers. Second one is instruction card clerk. Instruction card clerk is responsible to give the orders and instructions to the workers who are working, that what you have to do and what you have not to do. Okay, the instructions regarding the activity they are performing, he is responsible for giving the particular instructions they have to follow while performing their task. Third one is time and cost clerk. Name itself suggests also, time clerk and cost clerk is responsible to set up the particular task, particular time which is required to perform, which is required to manufacture a product, or we can say how much cost is going to be incurred, is going to be spent for manufacturing a task. Okay, so time cost clerk is responsible to see that whether the time which is provided, okay, what is the particular time which an employee will take to perform a particular task, and what are the different amount of money, what is the amount of money which is going to spend to perform a particular task or to manufacture a unit. Disciplinarian is responsible to see the discipline of the organization, okay, whether all the employees are working properly or not, is there any conflict in the organization, and to all the policies and all the rules and regulations are being followed by the organization employees or not. To see the discipline and the employees working, disciplinarian is responsible. In the production department, first person is GAN boss. GAN boss is responsible to make all the machines, tools and equipments available with the workers who are working, so that they can start their work and they can perform their work without any hindrance. Okay, he makes all the equipments, machineries and tools available to the workers, which is going to be used by the employees. Speed boss is responsible to see whether the time which has been given by the time clerk or the speed of the employees is matching with that particular standard or not. Everything is going on with the required speed or not. If there is some employee, there is an employee who is not performing the task very speedily or as per the required speed, he has to motivate or to take some actions on the spot so that organization goal can be achieved on time which has been decided. Repair boss, the name itself suggests, the machines and equipment which has been provided by the gang boss, he is responsible to keep them in working condition. If there is any requirement of repairing or any type of improvement, he is responsible for that. He has to keep every tool and equipment and machines in the working conditions so that workers can perform their work properly. Inspector is responsible to check the quality of the product which has been produced by the worker so that there is uniformity and it should meet the quality standards of the organization which has been set up by the top level management. It doesn't matter that it is low or high, but whatever quality has been asked to produce by the top level management, whether they are producing such product according to that standard or not, according to the as per the quality standard or not, it is the responsibility of inspector. So according to this, all persons are performing their tasks which will help the organization in performing all the activities with specialization and can achieve the organizational goal effectively and efficiently. Second technique is standardization and simplification of work. According to this technique, there should be a standard for each and every product. Okay, there should be a standard so that there is uniformity in the product. We can say standard for the size, quality, or the color and the shape of the product. Everything should be standardized so that any amount of any unit of a product you are producing, there should be uniformity in the product. And if a person is going to pick up, if a customer is going to pick up any unit from the shelf, he will get the uniformity. Everything should be standardized so that you can also match that whether the employees have produced such product in as per the standard or not. Simplification means that all the activities which you are performing in your organization, you are producing a particular product. So simplification means if there is any unnecessary activity which is a manager have to differentiate between the necessary and unnecessary activities which are being performed by the employees. Okay, for example, let's say that you are having 5 flavors. Okay, you are having 5 flavors of a product and 2 flavors of a particular product is having so much high sale, but 3 of the flavors are not being consumed by the consumers. So it's the responsibility of the manager to see that what are the unnecessary things there are so that we can simplify the process as we can achieve our goal in the limited time. Okay, if we are having something which is unnecessary or which is useless for the organization, we should avoid or we should simplify such thing to make the things smooth. So standardization means everything should be as per the standard, a particular standard to be achieved, and simplification means unnecessary things are to be avoided, whether it is a process, it is a tool or equipment or anything which is hindering the process of manufacturing or delivering the products from the manufacturer to the customer. It should be simplified, it should be neglected and it should be ignored. Third is differential piece weight system. According to this technique, Taylor suggests that a manager should differentiate between the efficient and inefficient workers of an organization so that on the basis of that you can provide them salary or remuneration and you can compensate them. Efficient workers should get high amount of salary as per their work and inefficient persons should get low amount of salary as compared to the efficient persons. There should be no equal amount of salary for all the workers, whether they are performing a lower level work or the higher level work. A person who is performing much better should get higher amount of salary. It means you can say that the salary or the remuneration of a person should depend upon the number of units or the amount of work done by the employees, so that the person who is not performing well will get motivated that yes, if I will perform as according or as the efficient worker, I will also get the salary, more salary. Okay. Now after this there is differential PCA system. What we have discussed in this, that we should differentiate between the efficient and inefficient workers. Efficient should get more, inefficient should get less, or we can say the salary of the person should be based on the number of units produced by the managers. Okay, more production done by the managers, more will be the salary. Fourth technique is work study. Work study includes 4 studies. First one is method study. What is method study? Method means the way of doing work. We are having so many methods, ways of performing a particular task, but a manager should select the best method to perform a particular task so that they can achieve the organizational goal, because methods are so many but the best is only one. So you have to select the best method which is also which will also result in time saving, cost saving, and more profit can be earned with the help of such method. After evaluating all the methods, the manager should select the best one and it should be applied, should be used by all the employees working in the organization. Second one is time study. Time study suggests that before giving a proper time or before giving a task to your employees, every manager should experiment such work by his own, by checking the time which is required, which is being required by him only. For example, I am going to give a task to produce a unit to a person, that you have to produce this unit, but in how much time? 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I should try such production of unit with myself. I have to try to produce such unit, and for example I am taking 15 minutes, so I should allot 20 minutes to my employees by checking that yes, max to max 20 minutes will be taken, so that you can check whether such worker is performing the task properly or not. Okay, so time should be divided in advance, and after experimenting the time, you should allot the time to your workers only, so that they can also perform the task properly. Motion study means movements. Unnecessary movements should be avoided. If movements related to the workers, the body gestures, the body movements should be, unnecessary movements should be avoided. While performing the task, you should see, you should check, supervise that what are the necessary movements that a labor is making, which is taking too much time to perform a task. In simplification, I have told you also the same thing, but you have to understand the difference. Simplification here refers to the unnecessary things or processes or flavors or varieties which you are using so that you can make your process simple. But motion study refers to movements of labor of a human being that he is performing. You should avoid all the unnecessary movements. Fatigue study refers to the rest intervals. Rest interval means Taylor says that any person cannot perform a task regularly. He needs some rest between the particular time so that he can give their best. So every organization, every manager should give proper rest interval to their employees so that they can work, they can back to their work after taking proper rest and can work with proper energy and to their best possibility. Okay. Fifth one is mental revolution. Mental revolution means changing of attitudes towards each other. Taylor suggests that for making every principle effective in your organization, it is the most important thing that each manager as well as the subordinate or worker should change their mental attitudes towards each other. Manager and workers should work as a family. Manager should think, yes, my workers are very good, they are performing well. Workers also give their best and think that my manager is my family part and I have to give my best. Only when they are having positive attitudes toward each other, they can perform their duties effectively. Thank you.